Hi there, today's Woman Speaks. It's my pleasure to introduce today someone I call my aburo, my daughter, in whom I'm well pleased. She's all of those things. It's been 10 years of doing something that she fell into. I know that for a fact. But beyond that, she's somebody that stands tall in an industry that everybody describes her as the drape witch. By the time she's done with draping things on your body, you're going to be looking gorgeous. She is none other than Ejiro Amos Tafiri, and that is EAT, E-A-T. She's smiling.
Yes, I am.
It's nice to have you.
Thank you, Auntie.
This your smile is something else.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Because everything just lights up when you smile.
Yeah.
Except your eyes.
Yeah, then that closes.
That closes. But designing for you, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
What would you say is the one thing that as you look back, man, I can't believe I've come this far?
My thing with my work is it has to be a blessing. If I was a doctor, I would bless lives, change lives. And so I want to be able to do that with my fashion. And so women who have come and, just lit up when they wore the clothes and the event and they come back and say thank you, that has been the most rewarding thing for me. And also getting my brand where it is, getting to open 3 stores, 3
beautiful stores. I mean, because there's something deliberate about your stores, isn't it?
Yes. The layout, I planned it. I before I ever got the first store, I got ideas from different places, like my different travels. Oh, I really like this. Oh, I really wanted to look this way. And then I always wanted the colors to be black and white because I use a lot of colors in my work and patterns and textures. So I wanted to keep the background really plain and easy so that the clothes pop. So basically, it's just been the growth. Like looking back to where I started from, with very little means, in my bedroom, in my parents' house, in Kotun, with just a table, the Ghana must go of pieces, and then 40K in my bank account. God has been really faithful to me.
Can I ask what's in your bank account now? You wouldn't tell me that. No, but what I find interesting though is that you said it's like being a doctor and seeing that you have healed a patient. Medicine was something you could have done.
Yes.
How did that happen?
I was a science student. I've always been a science student, an all-rounder, so to speak, but mainly a science person.
You're in the science class?
Yes, but then I knew that I wouldn't be able to leave my mark in the sands of time. Like if I did medicine, I would just be a doctor in a hospital. I don't think I would have aspired to own my own hospital. I don't think I would have come up with any formula to solve something or create a different way.
It's not because you couldn't though?
Not because I couldn't, but because I wasn't as passionate about it as I am about fashion. So when I found fashion in my SS1, it was totally a chance meeting. Though I'd always had hints and bits here and there. I liked doing stuff with my hands. My grandma was a tailor. I would make dresses for my dolls, and if I dressed well, I was happy. If I didn't dress well, I was sad the whole day. But I never quite knew I was going to become a designer until this fateful day at Yaba Tech. We went for an excursion from Queen's College, and it just dawned on me. This was it: science, arts, mathematics.
How did that happen?
We went on an excursion from QC to Yaba Tech. I left the agri class because my teacher was pregnant. I was in SS1. At that point in time, children are I was very flighty and I didn't want to read. And she would say, go read, go study. At that point, I learned by hearing. So I'm like, I can't do this. I won't get an A1. And agri was vocational subject. I thought that should be an easy A1. So I said, let me do something else. I was good at all the vocational subjects. So I went quickly straight to food and nutrition. Class was full because I was in a girls' school. So I was fully booked. And I went to clothing and textiles about 10 in the class. And you this time student, what are you doing here? I said, well, I want to do this. Better be serious. I said, well, my grandma is a seamstress. So they allowed me to join the class. And my very first day, that same day, we went on an excursion to Yaba Tech. And I just knew, I say it to people, that was my born again moment. I actually did feel it and know it there and there that this was it.
Was it the fabric you touched? Was it something that you saw that was me?
There's a picture of me still in the histories office off. I was entranced. I was like that on the table. It was everything, the colors, the light, the way they explained stuff. It was just me realizing that, okay, this is science, this is technical drawing, but this is art. And I can actually create my own stuff. I don't have to be stuck reading people's theories, that one theory. I can create my own. So it was that, all the light bulbs went up in my head and I knew this was it.
It's interesting that you're celebrating 10 years of a brand, but you had a lot of time before that.
Yes, I did.
And you spent time growing on the people. Tell me about that.
Oh, I did a lot of internships because Polytechnic training required it, yes. So my first internship was at Zikado. It was an amazing experience. I sort of took that persona of how I am in my office from her. because she was a doer, not just a talker. She would be in the office before everyone else. She would prepare everybody's work and just set it on their table, and then she'll go out once she has settled the factory and then go out to market. So I realized from her, like those of us that are from
Ajebota.
they were not Ajebotas. We had to double down and do the work. I got that understanding quickly from her. When I mean Ajebota, my parents, at that point, my parents took me to school and all of that, but not like we're living in any fancy house. We didn't have any fancy car. School fees, they had to struggle to get it. Everything was, my parents were working really hard to see me through school. So I knew that I didn't have that luxury.
You're a gifted child.
Yes. So they would do almost anything for me. But then I knew that I didn't want to be poor. I didn't want to manage. I wanted my time to count for something. That was what was always in my head. And that's why I said, no, not medicine. I would just be another doctor. But I believe that if I'm a fashion designer, I will create a mark.
So 10 years down the line, you're no longer managing. Or you must have felt like giving up at some point.
Giving up on this dream, no, never. But it's been hard. They've been hard times. I've been really blessed. Like I did say, very high highs and some low lows. Like, so first, right off the bat, my first year, I did 2 international shows. And 10 years, I've never paid for a show. I've never really paid to be featured anywhere. I mean, so I've been really blessed. Like, I've had opportunity to travel for work that I have not paid for. I've been selected and won several awards, several competitions. They want to pick somebody to represent Nigeria. I get to be among the ones to pick. So it's been a blessing all through these years. But the lows have come in form of wisdom of life, like just knowing how to deal with staff, mistakes not to make, personal life, but work itself, and then that now takes a toll because it comes with emotional stress and all of that. But the work itself, I've been blessed. Like, even when things have been hard, it might not show on the outside because I mean, I'm such a worker. I love to do my work.
Obviously, I can see. So, but in all of that, though, what about the industry itself? I hear there's a lot of
tough.
There's a lot of bad blood, envy, jealousy.
Oh, that was hard for me. Like, my first few years was hard. Like, if I didn't have God, yes. Who are you to want to be this? Who are you to dare to aspire to be that? How dare you? Everything in my life was how dare you. And I'm like, I dare because I'm a child of God. I dare because this is my dream. I dare because I'm not standing on anybody's toes or stepping into anybody's space. This is my space. Everybody has space. This is my own space. I'm called to be this. So deep within me, at the back, when I get back home, I say that to myself. When I'm praying, I say that to myself. Because sometimes you go out and you're trying to get an opportunity and they say, no, who is that? Get back. Like, how dare you? You used to be a girl that when we come, you just want to come and answer. Like, I believe, like, everybody.
Because you work with
I work with brands, yes. And they just assume, maybe at that time, the industry was not, what's the word to use? Forgiving or open, welcoming to people who didn't have affluence, who were coming from obscurity, who were not islanders. I was coming from Ikotan and I was always saying it and proudly saying it. These ruffle struggles and upset people. But I'm like, this is a talent, it's an art. It's a respecter of nobody. It's not something that you get to do because your parents have money or because you get to travel the world. This is what will take me to travel the world. This is what will release me from poverty. So nobody should stand in the way of that.
And
except your God. It has done that for me.
So now, tell me about the trajectory. You did Zicado, then from Zicado?
I went to work at Tiffany Amber, and that was 1 year IT. It was amazing because quickly, right, within the first 3 months, I became her personal assistant. Yes, so I started supervising. It was awesome. Like, to even sit down and do interviews for graduates. Like, I had such an amazing experience.
And you were still under 20?
Yes, I turned 18 in that office. She bought my first sewing machine.
Wow.
Yes, she
That's
did.
Mrs. Coker?
Yes, she did. She bought my first sewing machine. It was an amazing experience. Like, she pushed us a lot because it wasn't only me doing IT. I was the youngest, and quickly I also became like her assistant in the office. And she pushed me. She believed that I could do so much, and that belief made me push myself even more. And then when I went back to school, spent another 2 years. During NYC, I worked out of Africa with Mrs. Kaine Body George. It was amazing. Like that, I went to work there because I did 3 interviews before I chose that job, and that was the least paying one. That was the least position I was offered. I did that interview for 3 days. and they said I wasn't good enough to be a designer. I was looking for a designer position
At out of Africa.
out of Africa, and they took me for production assistant. And I'm like, best student here, Batek, IT Tiffany Amber, IT Zizi Kado. I'd done collections. That means there's something I don't know yet. Let me take this job that says I don't know anything and go and learn what they have to offer me. And that's when I took that job. And within a month, I became senior designer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what does that say about the kind of person that you are?
I'm determined. I don't give up. I don't give up. I don't care how bad it gets. Like, and that's good. Like, I'm looking back now, I remember that's been the upbringing that my parents have wanted for me. Like going to Mayflower, Tai Sholami telling you, may your way be rough. Like even the school, we don't have proper windows. It was not a school for, it was for the affluent, but it was a rugged school.
How did you get to
comfort.
Mayflower?
My parents took me there. My mom was in aviation, my dad was SSF. And so they were always working and traveling, and then, so always working and coming back home late. Okay.
Where did your lead go?
This is tough. How did I get there? I think I went. My brother went there because my daddy wanted him to be tough. I'm the only girl. I went there because while being at home, I was abused. So my mom now sexually abused.
By a family member?
Yes, by a family member. So
who was supposed to be caring for you?
Just someone living in the house. Yes. So I had uncles in the house, and it was one of my uncles, and the other uncles knew. So I ended up telling my neighbor who lived downstairs, who was a friend to my uncle, that he was doing this thing to me after school every day, and I didn't like it. Like, it was making me lose myself. I was always an overachiever from nursery school. Like, so anything that would mess with my mind, anything that would affect my mind, I didn't like it. So I told that guy that he was doing this thing to me and it wasn't making me feel good. So he told my mom. My mom was mad. She told my dad, and then, you know.
He didn't kill the guy though?
He's his brother now. So they figured it out. Like my parents, my mom then said, okay, she would now let me, if I couldn't be safe like there, because she had to work, and like she would be okay with me going to boarding house. And so I went to boarding house to join my brother. Yes.
Life has made you grow up even before you, always before your time, you kind of grow up.
Yes.
Before your time, you kind of grow up. I mean, you were barely 13 or 14 when you knew that fashion was going to be it.
Yes, exactly.
Then at 17 you graduate and you go from high school and you go into fashion school, and then you come out in journeying and doing things that people won't ordinarily do. But then again, life happened to you again. Today you're a mother of a 2-year-old.
Yes, almost 2.
Yeah, she's almost 2, right? And you know, it's when you look at her, tell me about her life.
That's a real blessing. Like that came in. Like I wasn't. Of course, I was
you didn't
always
think it was
looking.
a blessing when it came.
When I got pregnant, I didn't see that as a blessing. Like,
because you're single.
Yes. When I found out I was pregnant, no, that was like it felt like the lowest. Was it really the lowest part of my life? Almost, yes, because I was thinking about everything. Good Catholic girl. How did this happen?
Have sex?
Yes, like, okay, I've told you that before. Like, so I argued so hard with the doctor, like, how is it possible? I've never had sex and you're telling me I'm pregnant. And he's like, madam, I looked at me like, what's wrong with this old woman that is there saying what is not real? So I just left him, but I was like really mad. But I'm like, this was a test. Like, it's almost impossible that it's not true. Because yes, I did have a fiance, and yes, we did make out, but we never had sex.
So what does that tell you? That sex is not just about penetration, is it?
Yes, like I learned the very hard way. Like, it's not good. I learned the hard way. I begged God so much. I said, please, okay, now I get it. Like I made a vow to you, and I stepped out, and I thought I was being smart. Like, okay, since we'll be married soon, it doesn't really matter. This one, that one. I know better. Okay, I've understood. Can you just let this baby come back to you? Can the baby go back to heaven? That was my prayer. Like, it's okay. Like, don't allow her come into this world. This is my mistake. Don't let this mistake affect this child's life. Like, I prayed so hard.
Was it hard?
No, I didn't. I just thought, child. I'm like, no, please. I just kept praying. Like, let miscarriage now. Let it just happen. But when I went for my first doctor's appointment, and the doctor said to me, how old are you? He asked for my history, and he said, this is a miracle. This is a miracle. And how old will you be next year? He said 35. He said, I hope you want us to nurse to life. Please let us nurse to life. I wasn't going to abort anyway, but hearing how passionate he was, and he told me his wife's story, saying, oh, my wife too doesn't see her period regularly. And then when we did get married, it took us about 5 years before we had our first baby. And you haven't had sex, you are 34. It's already becoming difficult for you to have children normally. And then you also have this thing where your period is not regular. And then you are pregnant. I mean, if your partner is fine, if he's not fine, if you can take care, please let's nurse to life.
Was your partner fine?
Well, I wasn't having a partner at the time.
Oh, okay.
No, I broke up with
the fellow.
Yes, a month before I found out I was pregnant. Yes.
Because you're very confident you're not pregnant. Why were you so confident you're not pregnant?
Because we are not having sex now. Like, we're not done penetrating sex. We are smooshing and doing all the other stupid stuff.
So it's like at the point, paint the picture for me. At the point at which probably there could have been a penetration, you said, no, I don't want to do this. Because
No. Okay, I always knew I didn't want to have sex before getting married. That has always been my vow to myself and to God and to Mother Mary.
Engaged you and
yeah, kind of. I guess he just knew me, like had studied me and knew that okay, like even if it was a game or whatever, it wouldn't amount to anything. Because I've had boyfriends, but it has always been clear right from school, I'm not going to have sex with you, we're not doing sex, because this is not what I want. So we'll kiss, we'll do all that. So, and you also get curious. I mean, I read Mills and Bones and all of that. And your friends, everybody had sex, so describing it to you. So you want a bit of that. And then when you're in love, they say when you're in love, you should have sex, you should kiss them. I'm like, okay, I can do a little. I don't have to do the whole full 9 yards. Yeah, so he knew the deal. Every time I dated, or like this one, we're already engaged. We are done our traditional engagement. We are done marriage course finished. We are done marriage bands finished. Yes, we had engaged wedding planners. We had looked for halls and all of that. We had done all of that. But when I found out that it was all, I was just a job card. Basically, that's how I described the situation. I just, like, it was done. And then after the day I found out, the very next day, we were still trying to debate whether it was true or it was not true. And he dropped me off at the airport. I had never seen him since that day. I called. When I found out my money was involved, we took my money, but I have never laid my eyes on him.
Because the case of intake when
oh, he had been, I don't know, I call it job card. That's my way of describing it, because thinking about all the different scenarios, I'm not foolish, and I try to be prudent with my spending. So I wouldn't just give, I don't love stupidly, I don't believe in that kind of love. So I wouldn't just give out my money like that. So it was a case of, okay, let me help you do this, maybe projects, like when I was setting up this head office, oh, let me help you buy your gen. And then I found out this year or last year that the gen was not even new, that it was just painted, it was a half
so
gen.
It was a case of a fellow you trusted that disappointed you.
He was defrauding me. So I found out that one transaction, it was a 50,000 naira transaction that opened my eyes to my 3 years of living and being with this person, that it was all a lie.
Then you called it off?
Yeah, of course. I told him, give me my money. I don't play. I'm very straightforward. And so he could never produce the money, or he just didn't come back, or he knew I was going to unravel other things. And then,
so when you found out you were pregnant, that must have been terrible.
It was beyond terrible. Like, bro, I didn't even think that. For me, I don't know. I don't feel like, because I can't judge. So I know he's not, I don't think what he did was good, and I don't think he's a good person as at that time. But I don't know who he will be. I don't know if he would change next. So that was where my headspace was. So it was the function of, this was your, like, I couldn't judge. But my one is, I'm not married. I'm not going to marry this person. I know I'm not marrying this person. Why this child? Like, why am I pregnant at all?
So you go through depression?
Major. I almost committed suicide. Yes, like, it was major. And then life happened to me that year. Like, beyond, it was just one on top of the other, on top of the other. It was, first of all, losing all my stuff that I had grown for 5 years to a friend. That was, even for me, more emotionally disturbing, because it kept happening. Yes, there was a disgruntled staff that teamed up with a friend, stylist friend, and then they just kept making sure that my office wasn't stable. And then I just thought, this is my happy place, this is my work, this is my money. Why is it your problem that you want to pull me down? And so that happened consistently for a while, and then just trying to be like, okay, this is my thing. I'm just going to own my office and work hard to make sure everything is fine. I now find out middle of the year that I'm pregnant, and I have been with somebody about to get married, somebody who has just always known he was here to defraud me. And then one day somebody comes into my office in Ikoyi and removes all my stock, and my 2 staff were just standing there and staring at her. And she took it away for 72 hours. And then it was just from one thing to the other. Yes.
So what kept you going?
It was God. It was my priest. I mean, he was the only person who didn't judge me in all of this. Like,
Not to meet your parents?
my parents. Yes, my dad was really cool. My dad cried. Yeah. My dad said, why? Like, why? Like, why? Like, she has been such a good girl, and my dad knows that I've been, like, I was a virgin, so he didn't even question. He didn't feel like, oh.
Are you saying you're still a virgin?
Well, I haven't still had sex. So giving birth disvirgined me, and that was the most painful, traumatic experience of it all.
So why are you sharing this information now?
Just because people like don't. I was naive. I think I was naive, or was being silly, or I saw signs and I did not pay enough attention to them. Just so that people know that, I mean, life gets to happen to you. You don't get to decide everything that happens in your life. One, to be smarter with the choices that you make. I've made not so great choices in that regard, and then also get experience. I tell my younger ones these days, like, I'm not saying date and do all this funny stuff, but then be smart. Don't be. I was too involved in my work, and I'm sure that was the weakness that the person saw, and I wasn't really somebody who shared everything and everybody knew stuff about. So he was able to, attach
your mind.
Yes, attach himself to me, and I felt that was my person. It was my best friend. So what broke my heart the most was this is my best friend. So I don't have a best friend. So like, this is not even my best friend. Like, I don't even mind not getting married to you, but know that I don't have this friend anymore. I don't have this support system anymore.
Have you seen that guy since then?
No.
So this baby is yours?
Legally, fully, wholly. Did we have sex? Where is it coming from with this?
It was a donor now.
That's what I've termed it. Like, if you not return my money, then
So what's your daughter's name?
Ogenemine.
Which means?
God's been gracious to me.
Oh, and Mina is actually M-I-N-E.
Mine. So when I gave birth to her, everyone called her Mine, because the short form was Mine, and they couldn't pronounce it, so they called it Mine. So yes, she's mine. She's Ogenemine. She's Oluwadamilari. God. So it's just, Ogenemine, I look up to God. Oluwadamilari, God has been gracious to me. So yeah, God designed this for us. He destined us to be, and that's how I see it.
So what's your message to young girls out there? Clearly.
Clearly, please be smart.
When you say smart, you gotta define smart.
Like, I wasn't even not smart, so I don't even know. I would say
an A student.
Even street smart.
To have many boyfriends.
No, even street smart. I was a bit like, I don't think I was stupid. It was just that was bound to happen. What happened to me? But I'm saying the only thing that got me through, which is what will get anybody through, is the divine. Have your center, have your core. Know who you really are, because people try to make me, like, people who were looking for my weakness try to use that low point in my life to boss me around.
So what about people believing or not believing your story? Does that bother you?
No, do I care? Like, it's my truth, and it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to resonate with you. It's my life, it's my truth, it's what I live daily, and I don't really tell lies. Like, I don't even know why I would tell lies, so I don't really care if they believe me or not. So even going to church, like, all the friends I lost, pastor friends, family friends, closest friends, everything fell out over being pregnant, and abort. I don't think so. How are you going to love this child? You and this your righteous idea of being. I'm like, I've already committed one thing. Now I was doing backdoor. already committed one, and God now showed me that, see, I am God. Don't mess with me, and that He put this child there to show me that, Ejiro, if you have a covenant with me, you better stick with it. Don't do halfway measure. And so I will now take that again and go on. So where will I go to? Where's my safe place? Is it my friends? No, my safe place is with God. So He's the one who can swallow all the shame, all the blessing, and make it all beautiful. And that's what it is for me.
So I want you to do my final segment. What is this all about for you? As you celebrate 10 years, you're a mother, you're a fashion designer of repute, you have gone all over the world, and so the world sees that you're 10. So
okay, so what is this about for me? It's just me owning my space, who the woman I've become, the person I am, what my brand is today, what it stands for, and saying that I'm really proud of it. I am dedicated to my journey, to my story, and to living my life positively as best as I can. And like you said and highlighted, I'm not scared of anything. I mean, of failure, of not having, of shame. I've tested it all. Like, starting out was not having, was lack, means the test that came in 2017 was that one of shame. Like, let's bring her down, that didn't work. Instead, I got glory for what should have been shame, and I'm so happy that did also happen to me. Looking back, because it made me stronger, a bit more wiser, a bit not even wiser, like more dependent on God, because it was God who held me up, who saw me through, who lifted my head and lifted my hands, and just kept me safe through the accidents. Like, I had 2 accidents when I was pregnant.
Oh, really?
Yes, I had a fatal accident with my car.
It was fatal for the car, but not for you.
No, not for me. The car was completely ruined, and it looked as if we were enveloped within the space that we were.
You and your baby?
Me, my baby, and my assistant. Yes, and we also had go on a plane that caught on fire when I was going to have her, and it crash landed, and I had to slide down, hit my bum on the floor, and all of that. But she's
It's an international flight?
Yes, an international flight.
That child means to be in this world.
Yes, and then seeing her now, she's such a madam. I mean, she owns her space. She's so sure of who she is. I can't imagine my life without her. And I know God knew that I needed her in my life. Like, she literally pulled me out of my depression. Maybe if I didn't have her, I may not have become as happy, as radiant as I am. And I'm happy that I no longer live a life of work alone. I live a work life.
So 10 years down the line, you're a happy woman, you're a mother, you own your space.
Yes.
And the next 10 years?
Next 10 years is to take my 2 babies to the next level. Like, to my 2 babies, my daughter and my brand. Those are my 2 babies.
What's going to happen? No man? Are you going to get married? Or you will never marry again?
No. I don't have any such inhibitions like, oh man, no. I have brothers only, so I cannot hate men. I love my dad, even though it's sometimes really annoying, but I mean, it's the love of my life. So yes, if it's the person that God has planned for me and my daughter, yes, I may consider marriage. But I am not looking to get married. And I've seen men approach me with that thing of, oh, she has a daughter now, she'll take whatever. No. No, like, even now my standards are higher than when I was without a child, and I don't really need a man to make me happy. I don't need anybody to make me happy. I realized that when I was pregnant and when I was about to have her, my joy comes from God and God alone. My joy is not in my work, because my work almost failed me. My joy is not in my parents, my family, my brothers, nobody, because everything around me literally kind of failed me. So I realized quickly that my joy, my being, everything that I am comes from God, and that's all that matters to me. I really want to make heaven, so it's not really about whatever. Like, this brand matters so much to me, but it's not the center of my life anymore.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you.